Okay, investing in yourself. I want to talk about this subject because I feel like it's such an obvious idea, yet it's actually so overlooked all the time. And I say this because, everyone can be like, yeah, invest in yourself, whatnot. Right? You probably heard this term before. If not, you will probably hear this in your life. And of course, you're hearing it in this video. I've heard this term a lot. And what it really means, like, not just in terms of money, putting money into yourself, but also putting in self reflection, some time to just purely reflect on yourself and just analyze certain gaps that you have, and then using it could be money, but it could also be time and networking to fill those gaps. So overall, you become a better person. Now, the example is, especially for people that are in their early 20s, especially for people like myself, where I'm in just approached my mid 20s, I'm 25. I think this is the best time where we can invest in ourselves, just because we're not necessarily, again, I'm generalizing here, but we're not necessarily tied down by, big mortgages or a family, kids, whatever, and huge things to deal with. You might feel like you're in that position. It's fair enough, and fair enough for doing that, because it's good to always be in a pressurizing environment. I think that builds character. But at the same time, when you're 30, 35, 40, 45, things are just going to get harder and harder. So investing in your time now, when you have more free time compared to the time when you're 30, 35 and onwards, but also in terms of stresses and whatever, you are experiencing that typically a lot less now. So this is where you go all in, and this is where you literally hammer in on yourself and try and develop your character. And this is something, honestly, that I've really taken on board, and it's something I live by at the moment, especially where, investing in yourself can be in different forms. So for me, the way I see it is for my physical health or whatever. I try to go to the gym. I did pay like a decent amount of money per month, but now I pay a little bit more, just so I have facilities such as a steam room, such as, swimming pool, even though I never used it. But mainly I paid a little bit more money for a steam room and just stuff like that. But I see it as an investment because I get to go to the steam room. It's got its own benefits or whatever. So I'm happy to pay double than I was before, just simply for that reason. And the same thing in terms of your career, right? Now, I recently spoke to someone that's in my current job, whatever, and I'm moving to a different role now in a different company, but he asked me how I got that. And I had told him that, I networked with the people, but I'd simply just applied. And I didn't just blindly apply to the role. I actually got my CV and I paid someone to redo my CV with the new achievements I've done, because I haven't updated my CV in 2 years, right? And I paid someone, and this guy is in my current role, my current job. And I was explaining to them he can do the same thing, and I put him in contact and stuff. But the first thought was, when I told him the price was about £100, right? And albeit like it is quite a bit of money, but at the end of the day, you're gonna make that £100 back if you get the job. And also, you've just considerably improved your CV as well. So when you apply to other jobs, it's gonna look nice because it's professionally done by a professional. Now, of course, you can do it yourself, right? Number one, it takes time. But the way I see it is, if you approach people in the industry that do CVs for that specific industry. Now, for me, it was sales. So I specifically contacted a guy that worked previously in Google, that knows about how tech works and knows about how CVs work and stuff like that. So I gave him that money easily. Like, I didn't even think twice about paying him. I knew I was going to give it to someone that is in HR, that deals with 100 CVs a day for tech, where I want to go into. So it's an easy investment. And then the first thing he told me was that it's a lot of money. even though he also earns quite a bit. And then I simply told him, like, bro, you're paying, £100 for a night out. All right, you're paying like £100 for 2 nice meals, right? When you go on holiday, or you're paying £100 for, I don't know, a couple of video games that you'd buy. Why can't you pay £100 as an investment to yourself if you really want this? It goes back to the thing, like, do you really want it enough? And then, there's going to be, then it put him into perspective, and he was like, okay, that makes a lot of sense, and he just bought the thing. But my point here is that if you are ever thinking about, money being a bit too much, in the sense, if it's going towards yourself, then just try and kind of analyze, like, you might have spent that amount of money for something that really doesn't add up, like, doesn't really bring value to your life. So that's just one thing. Like, I always do stuff like that. So it doesn't have to be that, by the way. One of the things is, like, at the moment, I really want to learn how to publicly speak and stuff. I'm very bad. Like, I've never done it before, except for like small groups and stuff. But just, going online and finding mentorship or coaching, finding groups that do it around where I am, and just contacting them and just paying a bit more money, and I'm just gaining their XP points, right? I'm leveling up that area. So that's literally investing in yourself. But then it's also investing in yourself in the sense of building a business, finding or connecting with people. Now, let's say you want to go into real estate, all right? I'm just putting this example. I don't know anything about real estate, but you can easily find someone that does know and just pay him a little bit of money, right? And understand. You could take a couple, but you can buy some books. That's investing in yourself. The more you do that, the more your brain grows, and the more you can start applying stuff into real life. Try and apply it to real life, because at the end of the day, you don't want to buy course after course and just feel like you're being productive, but actually you're not doing anything. If you get something, immediately try and apply that into real life. That's how it sticks in your head, and it sticks with you. And then you see results, and then the more you do it, the better you become, the more competent you become, and you start seeing the benefits of your investments. So I really, really value that. And for me, example would be YouTube. Like, I'm actually using my phone right now, but I'd recently bought, this is the iPhone 15 Pro Max. I've never bought a brand new phone from the year. So I've been rocking my iPhone 11 for the last 3 to 4 years. And to be honest with you, I never wanted to upgrade. I really didn't, because the iPhone 11 for me was just perfect. Like, it's no faults, nothing whatsoever. The reason why I upgraded, first of all, I've never actually bought the latest phone that Apple's released. So currently when I'm recording, it's iPhone 15 Pro is the latest. And there's not like some crazy, I mean, of course, there are crazy differences, but like, if I was to go back to my iPhone 11, nothing would really, like, I wouldn't be sad at all, because the iPhone 11 I just love. Apart from the bigger screen and like how quick everything runs, it's nice. The reason why I paid a little bit more is because of the camera. The front-facing camera is crazy, and the back-facing camera is like even more phenomenal. But if I'm gonna be making content, if I'm gonna be out and about, especially if I want to be filming things quickly, I can't just carry my big camera around all the time, simply because it's just too big, right? And it's just too much to whip out and like show like people are just going to be walking past, and it's just a bit long. But at the same time, I'm going to definitely use it, of course, for vlogs and stuff. But it's nice to have something in the pocket where I can just take out and just film something very quickly. And that's why I paid for this. And the way I see it is an investment, because I'm investing it into the YouTube channel, you could say. And throughout time, I've also like literally ramped up my camera. I've bought little gears and microphones and stuff like that, and accessories, but just so that I can make the viewing experience good for you. Simply as that. And that's something I want to see long term. I want to grow my YouTube channel, so why not put some money into it, of course. And I think that's an investment. So it could be stuff like that. And then limit the things that really don't bring much value to you, aka they're liabilities. Now, what do I mean by that? I used to buy clothes a lot, and when I say used to, I meant like even the last month or 2 months ago. For a long period of time, I would buy a fresh set of clothes at least every every 3 months, or when I get paid or something, I'll buy something new, like clothes and stuff. I don't really need it, right? I've got enough clothes. I don't really need it. It's just, and I really deeped it. Like, why do I always buy it? It's just like I like wearing it in the office and stuff and whatever. But like, I don't know if it's like a validation thing or not. But realistically, I'm happy with the amount of clothes I need for now. Like, I've got a good set. I'm gonna keep it like that. But then I'm gonna allocate and just shift the money into something that I want in the future. Instead of buying it for here and the now, I want to start building the future. So putting it, like I said, into my YouTube channel, putting it into myself, understanding my mind and what I want to go into, and buying like knowledge basically and stuff like that. So that's my one thing. I've limited the liabilities with clothes. I'm only really gonna buy clothes if I really need it, so rather than just because I want to spend some money. And that's simply it. Like, so limit the amount of liabilities and maximize the amount of, you could say, assets, right? Things that you want to grow in the future. And the biggest asset, like I just said, is yourself. So putting money into yourself is never a bad option. It's never a bad option. Putting it into yourself, whether it be through grooming, whether it be through knowledge, whether it be through specific things like a channel or a business that you might be having, whatever it is, right? Or a skill, especially skills, guys. That is the number one thing, right? Now I'm gonna go into sales as a job in the next couple of weeks. So I've invested my time into learning through podcasts a lot on Spotify. I've been listening to loads of people that currently in my role that have been doing it for like, a year, X amount of months, and I've been smashing it. Listening to them, I bought this little book. You could say this is an investment. I'm in Portugal right now, so I bought this €2 book. I was on the beach, just writing out notes, listening to these people. And it's an investment in your time, right? And then if I wanted to, I might buy like a course on sales. But again, it has to be applicable. Make sure you can apply it to it. You can't just listen to it, goes in one ear, goes out the other. You have to apply it. And that's it. That's the game of the game. And if you can keep doing this over your 20s, it just snowballs. I know it. I'm so confident that by the time you hit, 28, 30, 35, 40, whatever, you're just going to be this crazy successful person, you could say, because you've just gained so much within yourself. Good luck.